what have you seen in the community in terms of how COVID has affected things? I know, Fred, you mentioned that some places are trying to innovate by, having these igloos and things like that. But what has the impact been? I mean, I think we have a general sense, but can you guys get into the details a little bit of what we're seeing?
I think people are hurting. I think families are hurting. I think it's not just the people, the owners of these restaurants. It's the workers and the suppliers. People don't think about the suppliers. And the farmers. I mean, it goes way back to where, pulling a carrot out of the ground. It's got to get to that plate somehow, and people don't even think about that. So it's a huge domino effect when you see a restaurant that's doing carry out only. It's not just the owner that's making money. It's not just the owner that's making a living. It's his employees, his family that it's being fed from it, and like I said, the suppliers and their families. I love the way our community came together a little bit, and they were trying to order something from our mom and pop places at least once a week, just to keep businesses afloat. I mean, you love that restaurant. I'm telling you, they need your patron. They need you to go out there and buy something from them. If you love them enough, do that. If you don't, I don't know if they're going to be around in the next couple months. That's the sad truth.
So I want to say that last year for Eater Detroit, I did a story, just kind of different pinpoints in the Muslim communities in Michigan. And I called a few folks and asked them how they were doing during the pandemic. And what Fred is saying is very true, that people are shutting down businesses or reducing their businesses so significantly. And it's very hurtful because, as we know, a lot of times people are relying on that one person to bring home that income. And in immigrant communities, there are people who share businesses, right? So there's multiple partners in one business, and those particular people are also the breadwinners. So it's very difficult when that person loses their job, and unemployment is just not enough to raise families with 5, 6 people, and already struggling and things like that. And so and as immigrant communities, not everything is easy to navigate. Like, people can't just easily sign up for grants and loans because they might not know about them in time, or because there's so many people in that concentration of area, like Wayne County, for example, there's so many people competing for those grants and those loans. So even if they know about them, they can't really, they can't take full advantage of the help that's provided, and that's minimum to how many people we're trying to serve here. So it was eye-opening, and it's like, yes, we know this is happening, but to see places that we enjoy going to or eating from, their families falling apart, it's pretty detrimental. And the other thing I will mention is, like, even with COVID itself, it's a stigma and a taboo to talk about it. And so sometimes people are not okay with saying, hey, my employee has COVID, we're going to close down for 2 weeks, clean out the space. We just keep going. We might send that person home and never say anything about it. And on the flip side, I've seen locally that one grocery store, they said that someone had COVID. The restaurant, or not the restaurant, the grocery store had to come out and say, no, that's not true. We had to lay off people because there's not enough people coming through. And we really don't know whether or not there was actually COVID, and perhaps someone got COVID later. But the fact that people were spreading this as a rumor was very hurtful for the business itself, because then people are not going to shop there. And so I've seen locally people changing their business model to delivery only, or, pick up at the door, and being a little bit more cautious and thoughtful about how they're doing business. Like you said, Fred, there's some people following the rules really well, and some people kind of picking and choosing which rules they'll follow. And so I think that our community is, evolving over this year with COVID, and testing and trying different things and seeing what's working. But it's like, they can't close down all the way. If they somehow can stay open, they try to hold on to that. And I think it's really important to support those businesses as much as possible, whenever possible.